In this complete Ecamm Live tutorial, we'll show you how to live stream with Ecamm Live step by step and why we think it's the best live streaming app for Mac right now. So jumping straight into it, this is what Ecamm Live looks like. Now this is how I have it set up usually when I'm using it, but know that it can be fully customized and it doesn't need to look this crazy. In fact, by default, a lot of these menus and things are hidden. So all of this is completely customizable. So we can just come up here to Window and we can hide all of those extra utility windows, and this is really all you need to use here. But I'm going to run through the overall interface and show you a lot of these tools and menus and things because they will speed up your workflow in here. And just note that anytime you can access all of those windows and things up here under Windows, you can turn them all on and off here to customize up the interface for you. So let's go again, show all utility windows, and we are back where we started. So the first thing you want to do when you open up Ecamm Live is go through your settings first to get everything set up. Then we'll customize up the interface so that yours is looking something like this, and then we'll get ready to go live or to record. So there's two ways that you can access the settings menu. One of them is this little cogwheel on the side here, and the other one is up in the menu options. If we go to Ecamm Live, come down to preferences, we can open it up that way. Now, I want to call this out straight up and let you know that I am actually using the beta version of Ecamm Live right now. I personally think it's absolutely amazing. It's been rock solid in all of my testing, and I've actually been using it for years like this. It's the only tool, only program that I've ever used in real life production use that is beta software. So props to you, Ecamm team. It's absolutely amazing. So if you do want to have access to the latest and greatest stuff as it comes through and geek out on that stuff like I do, then yes, definitely grab the beta version. I can vouch for it. But if you do find some things are looking a little bit different to what I'm showing you here versus what you're seeing in the full release version of Ecamm Live, it is because there might have been some updates in what I'm seeing, but these will be pushed through to you very, very soon. So you got something to look forward to. And again, links for everything I'm covering will be linked in the description box below. So we want to go to preferences to get everything set up first. And as with a lot of programs and tools and stuff, there is a lot of settings and functionality and customization stuff in here. I'm not going to run through every single setting. I'm going to run through the key stuff for you. But what I would recommend is that you're coming in here and you're having a read through to see what you might want on for you. Because again, you can streamline this for your workflow and for what you actually want. So general, pretty self-explanatory. These are your general settings, and I pretty much leave everything on here at default. Account is where you log into your Ecamm account to unlock your features. If we come across to stream, this is really the first place that you'll want to come. And this is where you can set your stream size or your recording size. You can use Ecamm for recording and for streaming as well. So here you get to choose anything as low as 540p right up to 4K, 2160p. So for any video recording, I normally leave this one on 4K, but for live streaming, I generally just live stream at 1080. We can then change the shape of our live stream as well. So we have the standard widescreen, we can go extra wide, we can do square, we can do short, we can even do portrait live streams from here as well, if you're going live to places like Instagram, if you've got access to that feature right now. So we'll leave this one here at standard widescreen. We can then choose our frame rate. Again, you've got options here from 24 frames per second right up to 60. And what I love about this is when you specify your frame rate here and your quality, it's automatically analyzing your internet bandwidth speed down the bottom here. And you can see it's actually run a speed test. And so for this connection here, we have pretty much 30 megabits per second upload. Based on these settings here, the required speed is going to be around 8 megabits per second upload. You can see if we dropped this to say a lower quality stream, that's going to drop quite a bit as well. Same with the frame rate. So let's go back to 1080p and let's change the frame rate to 30. And generally here, I'll tick this box to use high quality video mode as well. It obviously does use more bandwidth. You can see how much more if we deselect that there. So if you are on a lower speed connection, you can deselect this. You'll still have a decent quality stream, but for a really clear stream, then you can leave this one ticked. Likewise for audio, I normally leave this one unticked though, but if you are doing any audio production or live streaming or recording where audio quality is really critical and you want the best quality, then you can select this box here. So coming across now to recording, in here the default setting is to record all broadcasts. So as you're live streaming, it's also going to be doing a backup recording to your computer as well, which I personally think is awesome. Now, if you are on the pro version of Ecamm Live, then you can unlock ISO isolated video recording as well. This is one of my personal favorite features in here, and you can see that we're able to record some of our different video sources or cameras separately as separate files, but also with our audio files as well. So we use this to record content for our accelerator program, where it's recording my computer screen, but also the webcams or the cameras separately, so we can edit things together afterwards. But you can also use this for your interview guests as well. So you're bringing a separate recording and separate audio for each of the different inputs or guests. And then you want to come across to destinations. Now this is where you can add in your live streaming destinations, where you want to live stream to. So you can see we've got our YouTube channel listed in here, but to add a new one, we can just go add a new destination. We can add a Facebook page, a profile, a group. We can add a YouTube channel, Twitter, LinkedIn, lots of others as well, RTMP support, so you can really broadcast anywhere. And if you're one of the lucky few that have access to Instagram live streaming, right now at least anyway, you can enable that here too. If we hit this little drop down arrow here, you can see you've also got multi-streaming support using Restream, Switchboard, and OneStream Live as well. So we can integrate directly with these multi-streaming platforms. But also note that Ecamm itself does have multi-streaming in it too. So if I wanted to broadcast live to Facebook as well, we could go ahead and add my Facebook page in. So there's my Facebook account. We can choose where we want to broadcast to. Let's go to our business page, Justin Brown Primal Video, and we can add that in there now as a source. And we can just select if we want to go live to both of them at the same time. We just leave them selected like this. And what's cool if you're going to be doing multi-streaming directly from Ecamm is that we can, now that we've got multiple destinations added here, we can come back over to stream and we can see here how much bandwidth it's going to actually use. So we can change the required speed here for one stream. Let's switch it to 2. So we're going to broadcast to 2 locations. It's now saying that our estimated usage will be around 11.5. So we want to make sure that we have that amount of upload speed there available. But you can go ahead and add in all of your different destinations, and then you can easily pick which ones you want to use at the time of streaming. Next one across is video. This is where we get to access all of our camera settings, all of our video modes. Again, a lot of these settings I'm just leaving at default. Unless there is something specific that you need to change, again, I'd suggest that you have a read through here. Likewise with the audio as well. If you are going to be sharing your computer screen on a live stream or recording and you want to broadcast your system sound, so maybe you're going to play a YouTube video or something like that, you will want to actually change this setting here, broadcast system audio. I currently have it set to never for the screen recordings and things that we've been doing, but you can actually customize this up. So play computer audio when you're sharing the screen or all the time during your broadcast too. So that's an important one that you need to know about. You can also adjust your microphone delay in here as well. So if you're using a more professional camera that's hooked up via HDMI or something and you're using a USB microphone, it is pretty common to have an audio delay or separation between the two. So you can actually adjust this manually here to make sure that everything is perfectly in sync for your viewers. So let's jump across now to the screen sharing settings. There's some cool stuff in here, like being able to turn on or off your desktop icons if you are sharing your computer screen. I absolutely love this feature. Also, they have the ability to turn on or off your desktop wallpaper. So I mean, the one I'm using now, it's stock standard Apple one, but it's pretty colorful and it could be pretty distracting. So we can choose on our live streams or recordings to have this on or off. Likewise with your mouse cursor, and you can even make the mouse cursor gigantic if you need to, so that people can follow along with what you're showing them. For those of you that are more advanced, you can also set up some shortcuts and some animations and things in here. So you can have events and things trigger when Ecamm Live opens, when your broadcast starts, finishes, or when you quit Ecamm Live. So I've seen some people set things up where all the lights will go off once Ecamm Live closes. So you can really customize this stuff up too, which is pretty cool. Over under remote control, if you are someone who is using something like the Elgato Stream Deck to make your live streaming easier and switch between things easy when you're live, then there is full integration and support with that too. Okay, so now that we've got all our settings done, let's close this and let's come back to our main interface here. So we're gonna look at the main Ecamm window here first, which is this area here. And then all these extra windows and things are really quicker and easier ways to access some of the key settings too. But again, you don't need it to be as overwhelming as this. So straight away up the top here, you can see that the mode that we're currently set to is record only. If I press on this, I can choose if we want to be streaming. So if I select stream, you can see that it's going to check to see if we have any scheduled or upcoming streams based on those destinations that I picked in the settings. And if you do have any upcoming streams, they show up down the bottom here with a countdown timer for you when that's upcoming. I'll go ahead and turn that one off. I don't want to accidentally go live. I normally leave this set to record because as I said, we're using this for a lot of recording content as well. But the other one I normally leave on is this virtual camera. And this is super powerful. Right now with this enabled, we can see that this is enabled by this little red box up the top here. Now when we open up apps like Zoom, Google Meet, or any app or tool that's going to use a webcam, we can now take this feed here from Ecamm Live and it's picked up as a webcam in those other tools, which means that then we can add titles and graphics and all the stuff that I'm about to show you how to do. You can actually bring all of those into your calls and webinars and presentations and stuff too, just as if it was its own webcam. So really, really powerful feature and something that I use all the time. Now, next to that is an easy way for us to switch between camera mode, which I'm on now. We can switch to a screen share or we can play a video file. So if I press screen share, we're now seeing one of my screens that's on the YouTube channel. And what I love about Ecamm Live is it makes it so easy for you to customize this stuff up. Again, this is super basic right now, but you can see here that I've got the webcam here too. So I can pick this up, I can move it around. If I don't want the webcam on this scene here, I can hit the little X and this is now our screen share. But you can also see how it's not quite fitting the full broadcast window here. Because we're on a Mac, we can pinch to zoom on this window here using the trackpad, and we can rescale that and move this around. And the beauty of this is if you are running tutorials and things live and we want to zoom in on a thumbnail image, we can do that literally by pinching to zoom, helping you make really engaging content for your viewers. And then the next one across, if we want to play a video file, we can click on this and we can just pick a video. So here's a recent webinar that we ran. If I hit on that, welcome everybody to this. That's going to start playing automatically. I've then got video controls, so I can scrub through that presentation. I can then easily switch back to me on camera here, just at a click of a button. Again, this is super basic, entry level Ecamm Live. You can just use it like this. You don't need to get carried away, but there are a lot more features that I'm pumped to show you. Now, just going back to the screen share here, if we press the screen share, we see this little pop-up pops up here. So we can choose which application, which screen, or the specific app that we want to share as well. So we can customize all of that up. And likewise with the cameras, whenever we mouse over this window here, you can see down the bottom, we have the option to switch between some different cameras. So the built-in one on my Mac here, that looks absolutely terrible. I've also got the Insta360 link up here. So if you're someone who wants to run a multi-camera stream, you could literally just be clicking between these different cameras and things easily while you're live. And if we hit this little plus button next to them, then we can actually add that camera onto the screen at the same time. So we could really go ahead and add 3 of these here all at once. And just hit the little subtract button and they will be removed. Again, super basic settings. Now for each one of these cameras and inputs that we've got down the bottom here, if we open up the camera effects window, and again, if you're not seeing this, you can enable it up here under camera effects. We can pick our camera here, so the Cam Link 4K, and we can enable things like green screen. We can actually pan and zoom our shot. So if I wanted to zoom in on it a little bit, I can zoom in, I can pick up this box here and move it around, and we can reframe our shot or even create a second virtual camera, really, a second shot we can switch between while we're live. So it could be this zoomed in shot here, and then we could switch back to a wide version of this as well. But if we keep scrolling down here as well, this is where we can dial in the look and feel of our shot with our camera settings here too. And we can even select LUTs to really bring in the look and feel that you're looking for. You can even mirror the video image here if you need to. So maybe you're holding up some text. I have no text here to hold up for you, but you can imagine that we could flip it around if it was showing the wrong way. And there's also a blur effect that we could add here too. And so all of these settings are saved for each of the different cameras or inputs that you have. So you can see back at the top here, Cam Link 4K, I could actually pick one of the different cameras, so the Insta360 link, and I can have different settings applied for that camera. So when I'm switching between the different cameras, I can really have them looking cohesive and looking the way that I want. Now we can easily add in any text and graphics into our live streams or recordings here as well. And you can even create them inside of Ecamm. So you want to make sure that you have this overlays window shown. You can actually turn a lot of these windows and things off with these buttons on the side here. So we can enable and disable them here too. So we want to come down to this overlays window here, and we've got some options to add some different things down the bottom. So if we go to this text option here, then we can type in some text. Let's go Justin Brown. We can adjust how this looks, whether we want rounded corners, margins, borders, all of that stuff. We can also add some different effects to the text, and we can pick all our fonts and sizes and formatting here. If we go to add, then we now have this as a title that we can pick up. We can move around. We can again pinch to zoom or to scale this up and down. And you can actually do all of this while you're live as well. So let's just say that we wanted this down the bottom left-hand corner here. And this was a title that I wanted to show when I'm live. Now at a super basic level, we can just come down to this overlays area here, and I can hit the little eyeball on that to show or hide that while I'm live. Now you can automate a lot of this stuff, and we can set up scenes that we can switch between as well, which we'll get to very soon. But that's how easy it is to add graphics and text in here. Now you can also easily create countdown timers and things too. So if we come down the bottom here, there is an option for a countdown timer. Let's say we want this to count down from 10 minutes here. Maybe we'll change this to 5 minutes. So we can either specify the time as I have here, or we can actually specify a date and time. So this is something that you could set up earlier and say, okay, on this day at 10 a.m., we're going to count down to that. And you could also have it count up like a stopwatch too, if you would like to. So we hit add. And again, this is something that we can pick up, we can move around and fully customize up. There's an option here to bring in your images. You can also drag and drop them as well. I mean, here's one on my desktop here. Sorry, Tiffany, this is, she is not going to like that, but you can see how easy it is for us to add this screenshot in and drop it into our video here. We can hit the cross here to remove it as well. But you can also customize things up a lot by adding in widgets. So we've got an option here for adding in widgets where we could integrate with other live streaming tools to bring in titles and things, or you could actually bring up your website just from typing it in here too and have it as its own overlay. Now, in terms of audio, we can see down the bottom here, we have access to our sound levels. You can see the microphone that I have selected here. We can pick the microphone, we can adjust the volume levels here. We can also add multiple audio sources as well. So we can add an audio source by hitting this plus button here. If we scroll this up, we can then have multiple audio sources. We can also control our video sound volumes and any sound effect volumes in here too. And speaking of sound effects, there are some built-in ones that you can use. If you hit this little button here, it's gonna pop up a window. It's on one of my other screens, I'll bring it over. This is it here. And we can play through some of these sound effects. Definitely my favorite. So it's cool that you've got that extra stuff in here too. So that's a lot of the basic functionality and how we're able to switch between things just clicking on this main interface. Now we can take things up to the next level by using scenes and essentially have presets or templates that we can switch between when we're live with different settings and different scenes. So we want to come down here to this panel here, scenes. And again, if you're not seeing it, you can enable it up here under window. And I'm going to add in a new scene. Let's give this a name. Let's call it camera 2. And let's then choose for this scene, which we can now see is selected up here, scene 2, we can then pick our Insta360 link camera, right? So this one over here. So when we're live now, we don't have to fumble around up here and click between different things. We can actually just hit the little play button or select on our scenes over on the side here, and that switching can happen for us. Now we can actually set keyboard shortcuts for these to make it even easier. So if you press on this little button here on the side, then it's going to say type a hotkey. So let's go Command 1 for scene 1. Let's tap on this one, go Command 2 for scene 2. And now just pressing Command 1 and Command 2, I'm able to switch between these scenes really easily. So just using your keyboard alone, you can start to speed up your workflow. We're over here now, back to over here. But this is also what's gonna make it easier for you to automate things with your Stream Decks if you're using one of those. And so we can add in another scene here, which could be screen share. And we'll set this scene here to be sharing Arc browser here. And maybe we'll zoom in to this shot so that it fits the YouTube website. So again, we're just pinching to zoom to do this and something like this. And now our scene here for screen share is actually set at that point. So we could be on the second camera, we could be on the first camera, come back to the screen share, and all of our settings and everything there are perfect. It's scaled to the right size. And maybe we'd give this a keyboard shortcut, Command 3, so we can again easily switch between them when we're live. Now maybe we want to do another variation of this with a picture-in-picture or my image down the bottom here. We can hit the little duplicate button down here to duplicate this scene, and let's go screen, share, go PIP, picture in picture. That's what this effect is normally referred to as. So we've got our screen share here. Now there's a couple of different ways that we can do this, but my favorite and for full customization is to come down the bottom here and we want to add in a new camera source or new camera overlay. So we press that and you can see we now have our camera box on screen here. And again, we can pick it up, we can move it around. Now it is our wrong camera. It is the terrible looking face cam here. So we can switch that by hitting the little edit button on here. We can change it from face cam. Let's go to Insta360 link. So maybe our side camera here. We can also change the shape of it, wide, classic. We can put it in a circle. If I click off this, we'll be able to see what this looks like. So maybe I want to be up the top corner here. We can customize this up further. Now, one of my favorite settings in here is that we can go change this from circle, change it to custom. Then we can get a great amount of control over how we want this to look. So if I deselect this now, so we have it, again, we can pick it up, we can move it around, we can adjust the scaling, and you can see we can actually bring in some of the background in here too if we wanted to. But if we deselect this now, if we hold down Option and click and drag, you can see we can actually crop this as well. So if we just want my face in here, we can hold down Option, we can crop this to how we want it to look, and then we can move it around. You guys are over here. So pretty amazing how easy this is to customize everything up. Now, in terms of this picture in picture or this effect that we've added down here, we can choose to just show this camera, this overlay in this current scene, or we could actually drag it up so that it's like this in all of our scenes if we wanted to as well. So if you've got a title or a graphic that you want to show or have the ability to turn on or off across your entire scenes across your entire live stream or video creation, then you can do that in here too. I'll leave this on the current scene and maybe we'll switch this to the front camera. So let's go cam link and let's adjust the crop here. There we go, down at the bottom. So pretty cool. So this will allow you to build out some really complicated scenes. If you're going to be bringing in guests or want to use multiple cameras, then you can do all of that here in Ecamm. So these overlays that you can add in these scenes aren't just limited to other cameras as well. Let's go back to our start scene here. We could duplicate this one so that we have another shot that looks just like this. Let's call it camera plus screen. And instead of adding another camera this time, we could add in another screen share. So we hit the little plus button down here on screen share, and you can see that we've now got our entire screen. So we could then pick which screen with this edit button. So we'll choose, instead of the primary screen, maybe I'll share my Arc browser again. We can choose our aspect ratio. Let's go custom. And we can then resize and reposition this wherever we would like it. We can scale it up and down to again create whatever look you'd actually like. And with these scenes on the side here, you can categorize and group them all in folders, and you can even add automations around the folders as well and automatically switch between different scenes after a certain point in time or after an action is triggered. So we could come down here to automatic group, and we can add all of our scenes in here. So let's say that we wanted to automatically switch between different cameras. We could put this one in here. We could put another camera in here. And we could then hit settings on here and we could choose to move between automatically the next scene at a fixed interval of every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, we're gonna switch between these. And this is an awesome setup that I saw. I think it was Tom Buck did an amazing video on this where he'd set up all of his different cameras inside of Ecamm. And when he's recording his videos, it was switching all the different angles for him, really just making it an amazing production in a box. Now, the other window that I like having open all the time is this camera switcher down here so that I'm able to preview all of my cameras and video feeds and inputs and things all down here at any time instead of needing to have my mouse cursor over. But again, they treated the same. I can just tap on them and switch between them to make things really, really easy. Now, one of the other really powerful features inside of Ecamm Live is its guest feature and the ability to bring guests into your live stream and your recording. And again, all of it is fully customizable. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. There is direct integration with Skype. So if you start a Skype call, then you can easily bring your guests in. Your guests will actually show as extra video sources down here, and you can add them into your stream or your recordings that way. Or if you're on their pro plan, then that's when you can turn on their interview feature and bring in a guest that way with no extra tools or anything needed. So let's switch back to the start scene here. So it's full screen me. We can see that I am on the pro plan here. So I've got access to the interview feature. I've got access to the interview window down the bottom here. I can select this box here to turn it on, and then we get some extra features. Straight away on this main interface, you can now see that we have a guest one input here as well. So I could just hit this and we've now got a placeholder for when our guest comes in. So we could even go through and create our scenes with placeholders so that when we have a guest in, that placeholder is going to be filled with our guest. And they can also be added as overlays as well. So let's say that we picked this screen share picture in picture that has me on it. Let's say that we also wanted to add our guest into this scene here as well. We could come down here to add a new camera overlay. Here it is. We can move it where we'd like. Now let's switch this input from FaceTime camera, let's go to guest one. And you can see we can have up to 10 guests on here and use them as presets or placeholders as well. So let's go guest one. Now, obviously we're not gonna see guest one, but this is where they will appear. So we can scale this down, we can move it around to where we'd like, and then when we're live or when this person joins, they're going to fill this section here. So all the same settings apply in terms of scaling and cropping and everything as well, so fully customizable. Now, if we come down to this interview panel here and bring this up so we can see it, we can see we've got our direct join link. So I can copy this link here. I can then send it out to whoever I want to have join, and then they will show up in here as a camera feed for me to add into the stream, or so that I can see that they're ready to join the stream. Okay, so I've sent out the link now to Ellie on our team. Let's switch back to the primary scene here. Let's remove this guest here just for now. So we're back to me. Let's just pretend I'm live right now. I've invited a guest to come and join me. We will see Ellie pop up down the bottom here once she is on. We can see here that Ellie is joining. We can accept or decline her. So let's accept her in here. So straight away, we're seeing that Ellie here is added in as a video source. So using the simple settings at the top here, without getting advanced at all, we can just click on Ellie, and now Ellie is full screen in the stream. If I wanted to bring me on, I can press the little plus here, and now it's both of us on screen. And we can switch these around, we can customize this up, but what we can do from here is we can assign Ellie as guest number one, which means that wherever we had a placeholder in our scenes with guest one, Ellie is now going to fill that gap. So let's go back through, let's find this scene here. So this was the scene here. Let's customize this up so we can see Ellie. Let's uncrop and let's reset this up here. Again, you want to be doing all of this before you're bringing your guest in, but you can see how easy it is and how customizable it is. And you could be doing all of this on the fly when you're live too. And your guests can even bring in their own screen share as well. So really, really powerful. And then when you're finished with your guests, they can either leave themselves or you have the ability to remove them from your stream by hitting this little X here. See Ellie, thanks for joining. And she's gone, and your guests are removed from the stream. So again, I love how easy it is to keep things simple, but also you can easily level up your live streams in here as well. Now to start and stop live streaming or recording, we have the button down the bottom here. I'm in record only mode, so we can record, start and stop from this. Let's do a really quick recording here. So we are recording. We can see that we're recording as we would see that we are live. But when we hit finish here, this is really cool. We can end recording. And then it's going to automatically let us edit this in Descript. So because I've got Descript installed on the computer, we can send it directly to YouTube as a new YouTube video, or we can show the file and bring it up on our computer where the file has actually been saved. So we can then repurpose it and upload it too. Now I'm actually gonna do a quick live test because there's one more amazing feature that I really wanna show you here. So let's set this to stream. I'm going to come back over here to our preferences, destinations. Let's choose YouTube. Now we'll come down the bottom here to new to create a new live stream. And this window here pops up. So we can see that we've got our channel selected here. We can add extra destinations from this window here as well. We do need to give our live stream a title. Let's call it test live, just in case anyone finds it. They shouldn't, because I'm gonna make it unlisted. We can look at our additional options in here as well. So our latency for YouTube, we get to choose if it's low, ultra low, or normal. So it's awesome that we can configure all of that for here. Normally I just leave it on low. We can schedule up our live streams from here as well. We can add in our thumbnail images and all of that stuff, but I'm gonna go live now, unscheduled, unlisted, double checking, unlisted, and let's go live. So we can see that we're live up the top here, because we've been live for 21 seconds. We can see the format, 1080p, 30 frames per second. We can see how many live viewers we have currently, which is 0. But we can hit on this and we can view our live stream in the web browser. We can copy the video URL. So if we want to send it out to someone, we can go directly to the YouTube live studio or to the live control room, and we can end the stream from here as well. So I'm going to send this out. We're going to get some comments on this stream, and I will show you what you can do with comments, because it's really cool. Okay, so I sent it out to the team. We have Ellie and Test Channel PV, which is Mattia. Thanks for joining. But you can see what's happening here. We've got this comment window, so the comments are coming up on the side here. So I don't need to rely on being over to YouTube to manage the comments. And same if you're multi-streaming to Facebook and other places as well, there's a curated list of all your comments here on this section. And we can favorite them. So if there's a good question that we see, we can then come over here and we can shortlist our questions and things to address, but we can also feature these comments on here as well. So if I just select on one of these comments, then we can see that we've brought it up on the screen. Now this is a template that I used from a while back where I wanted them really big, but we can scale these down too. So again, we can customize this stuff up. So now we've got Ellie's comment on screen. This is live, it's going out to the live stream. We can also click on the next one and feature that now and easily bring these up. So if you're doing a live Q&A, it's an amazing thing for engagement that people can see their comments on there. Plus it also makes it easy and fun for you to create an engaging live stream. This is a great tutorial. There, let's make this one bigger. Yeah, hopefully it is. Give this video a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. So then we want to stop the live stream. We can just come down the bottom here to finish. We go end broadcast, and we are no longer live once this changes from red now. So we can go from here to view the post, so view the video on YouTube. We could delete it if we wanted to. We can show our local recording, and again, we can edit in Descript as well. So there's a crash course on using Ecamm Live, and hopefully now you can see why it's my favorite live stream program on Mac. So now that you know how to live stream in Ecamm Live, if you want to know how it stacks up to the other options out there, then check out the video linked on screen. As always, don't forget the links down in the description. There's a bunch of resources and now top tools to help you with your live streaming and video production. So definitely check that out, and I will see you in the next video.